Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? This is Fernando here, and welcome to my yet another tire list. That's right. Last time I've done, I think I've done Pixar. No, the first I did Illumination Entertainment. Then I did Blue Sky Studios. Then I did Pixar, and the last time I did was Sony Pictures Animation, and now we're gonna do DreamWorks. Now, DreamWorks is somehow a studio that just did like some good movies, but some of them were like bad or terrible. But nonetheless, let's get started with this tier list. So we're gonna start things off with Antz, which is this was actually the first movie. Now I've never seen this movie, but I'll put this one in okay because now this movie might be similar to A Bug's Life because this movie came out the same year as A Bug's Life in 1998. So it doesn't make sense why it just made that happen. So yeah, I never expected it to happen like that. So then we have the Prince of Egypt. I don't remember seeing this one, but I'm gonna put this one in the great category. I've never seen this movie, but this is a nice movie I can hardly think about. So then we have Joseph King of Dreams. This was a direct to video, not a theatrical. So meh, not sure. No. You know what? I'm just gonna put this one in. Okay. Never saw it, but not interested in that. Then we have the Road To El Dorado. Another of these movies I have never watched, but I'm gonna put this one in the good. I actually never saw it to be honest. Now we have Chicken Run. Looks great. I'm gonna put this one in the great. I actually just saw this movie when I was a little kid. But yeah. So then we have Shrek. Oh yeah, Shrek. The meme is here. Yeah. So I'll put this one in the good, just because it's one of the good ones we can all hardly think about. So then we have Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. I think I did saw this movie, but it goes like in the great category. So I think I did saw this movie when I was like a little kid. So then we have Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. Another of those movies that I actually never saw. So I'll put this one in the good category because I never saw it. So then we have Shrek 2. Oh yes, Shrek 2 goes into the masterpiece category. I definitely love this one. People love Shrek 2 better than the first movie. Shrek 2 was easily an awesome sequel we can all hardly think about. So this is how I even interested about this one, but it's such an amazing thing I can hardly think about. So then we have Shark Tale. This is somehow a ripoff to Finding Nemo, but it goes in the meh category. People hated this movie because it was just bad, terrible, because Oscar's like a bad protagonist made by DreamWorks. So that's why people dislike Oscar as being one of the worst protagonists ever made. So it goes in the meh category. Then we have Madagascar. I did saw this movie, but I'm gonna put this one in the great category. I actually did saw this movie. This movie came out like the same year as Robots, Chicken Little, and Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of World. We'll talk about later. Now, this movie came out in 2005, which was the year I was born. Yeah, I was born in October 2005, but this movie came out, like, I think, like in the summer, so I wasn't born until October. So then we have Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Did saw this one, but I'm put this one in no good. Now, this is another movie that came out in 2005, October 2005, and that was the month I was born, because I was born in... Get out of here, notifications. Anyways, I was born in October 2005, that was the month I was born. So now we have Over the Hedge. I think I did saw this movie, so this movie was pretty great. So I'm going to put this one in the great category. Now, this is the movie that came out in 2006, which is the same year as Cars. You guys remember that Cars came out in June 2006, which this movie is now 15 years old, just like with Cars. So now we have Flushed Away, another movie that came out in 2006. Just like with Cars, this movie came out also in 2006 as well. But what could expected to see this one? It just doesn't make sense if Flushed Away is such an amazing movie. Now we have Shrek the Third. This one goes in the meh category. Now I get it that Shrek the Third was just a bad movie, mostly because it was terrible. How would you ever expected to see a Shrek movie that looks like really bad. It looks really bad to hear that this is the worst movie I can all think about. So then we have the B movie. The B movie was awful. So no, you know what? It goes smack category. Just because Barry is one of those memes and became one of the worst protagonists, just like Oscar. This is just a bad movie that I still don't get it why. So it still doesn't make sense why it keeps happening to this one. So now we have. Oh wait, no, sorry. But now we have Kung Fu Panda, and this one goes in the great category just because the Kung Fu Panda movies are really fantastic. So yeah, Kung Fu Panda is easily an awesome franchise. I still loved it, but still, this is one of the best films ever made. Now we have Madagascar 2, also known as Madagascar Escape to Africa. Now I'm probably gonna put this one in the great category along with the first one, mostly because people like the Madagascar franchise, but still really nice. So now we have Monsters vs. Aliens. This one goes in okay, just because it looks pretty amazing. Now, Monsters vs. Aliens is somehow a nice one, but people just don't get it why. Then we have How to Train Your Dragon. This one goes in the masterpiece, mostly because people love the trilogy. How to Train Your Dragon easily became one of the best franchises since 2010. Yeah, people love the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. It was one of the best franchises Dreamworks has ever created. So now we have Shrek Forever After. I put this one in good along with the first Shrek movie, but yeah. Shrek Forever After was just really good. I just pretty good. I agree. Think about this one, but still, why do people have to intend in me like this one right here? Yes, Shrek Forever After is like good, but Shrek the Third was man, really a bad movie for everyone. So now we have Megamind. Oh yes, this was actually my first favorite DreamWorks movie, which is along the other two, which I won't say until I say all the other movies. But yeah, Megamind is easily an awesome superhero movie. This is easily my first favorite DreamWorks movie I ever seen in my life. Now yeah, Megamind came out in 2010. It was probably like the year after Toy Story 3 came out. But yeah, it looks pretty fantastic. Now we have Kung Fu Panda 2. I'm gonna put this one in the grade along with the first one. Yes, Kung Fu Panda 2 was an awesome sequel. People loved it better than the first one, or the second was like pretty the best. But yeah, there was a villain in the first movie, which was Tai Lung from the first movie. And now in the second movie, there was a villain of Peacock called Lord Shen who wanted to make the end of Kung Fu. And Lord Shen has easily got to become one of the best villains of DreamWorks or the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we have Puss in Boots, a character spin-off a character from the Shrek series that received his own spin-off movie. Yeah, this is like, I don't get it why people had to do with this, but Puss in Boots is such an amazing character. Oh, and speaking of which, Puss in Boots is getting a sequel next year in 2022. So yeah, it's nice to see that the cat is coming back. Really fantastic to hear that. Really fantastic. So now we have Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Yes, folks, this is my second favorite DreamWorks movie. Out of all the Madagascar movies, this one is easily my second favorite DreamWorks movie. And yeah, so many people might think that this is an awesome movie. So this is my second favorite DreamWorks movie, with the first being Megamind, as you can see right there. Yeah, it looks pretty good, but not to be mentioned that this is a movie that I ever loved in my life. So now we have Rise of the Guardians. I think I'm gonna put this one in. Let me put this one in great. I'll put this one in the great category just because it's easily an awesome movie. An awesome movie that just managed to have one, but it's so what to think about. Like, how is this movie? I ironically said that this is an awesome movie people has ever loved. Felt like a Christmas movie because Santa's in it, but yeah, Christmas is coming next month in December. So now we have the Croods, and this one, let's put this one in the great category just because the Croods are pretty good. Yeah, I especially think that this is a movie that I ever managed to see. The Croods was pretty good, In fact, it's just a movie that I managed to see in my life. But yeah, I would say that this is an amazing movie we can all hardly agree with. So now we have Turbo. Now, I saw this movie like on Netflix and it was okay. Some people hated it because it's somehow like a movie based off Ratatouille or A Bug's Life or Cars. Because there was like like a snail that races in the racetrack. Weird. Is this like some kind of a Cars ripoff? No, there are no snails in the Cars universe. What the heck, Dreamworks? Why did you make us? Okay, I'll stop. Okay, I'll stop. And now we have Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Yes, my third favorite DreamWorks movie. I had to admit, this is my favorite movie, my third favorite DreamWorks movie, with the first being Megamind and the second being Madagascar 3. Now, I love the relationship between Sherman and Penny because it's just one of my favorite movie couples. The scene when they were flying the flying machine, it was such a romantic relationship. Such a beautiful, sweet romance between a boy and a girl. So I'm gonna ship Sherman and Penny because they're my favorite couples. Now we have How to Train Your Dragon 2. I'm gonna put this one in the masterpiece because people love the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. The first one was good and the second movie was fantastic. So yeah, people love the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy mostly because it was one of the best franchises made by DreamWorks. But yeah, so now we have the Penguins of Madagascar that also received a spin-off movie just like Puss in Boots. So yeah, the Penguins were like supporting characters, like they helped the New Yorkers in the Madagascar series, and now they have their own movie, and they team up with a bunch of animals to defeat an evil scientist that turns into an octopus that are turning penguins into mutants. How weird is it? That's just really bad to say about that, but yeah. So now we have Home. This one goes in the awful category. Now, this is the reason that people might dislike this, mostly because it's just like people that just don't like this movie. This is a movie that's just really terrible, but yeah, people don't dislike. And last, we have Kung Fu Panda 3. This might be like a conclusion to the trilogy, but people say it's not the end of the movie because DreamWorks said there's gonna be like 6 movies, a 4th movie, a 5th movie, and a 6th movie. That's so odd. I never expected to see that happen. But yeah, Kung Fu Panda 3 was easily an awesome one. People say it's the weakest, but it's one Kung Fu Panda was easily an awesome trilogy. So now we have Trolls. Now, I get that this movie was like really bad, but I'll put this one in okay. I remember seeing this in the movie theater like in Saturday when I was like a little kid. But yeah, a lot of people might say that this is a bad one, but yeah, it looks okay to me. So now we have The Boss Baby, and this one like goes in the okay category because The Boss Baby was like pretty good, but yeah, it's such amazing that I can still think about why this movie had to be like fantastical. Then we have Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. I'm gonna put this one in the good, mostly because it was based off a book series that I used to read when I was like in elementary. Yes, Captain Underpants was an awesome one, and it's such an amazing thing I could hardly think about. So now we have How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. Yes, I'm gonna put this one in the masterpiece because a lot of people love the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. This is a nice conclusion to the trilogy. After like 2 adventures, it was like time to say goodbye. There was a scene when Hiccup said goodbye to Toothless at the end of the movie, and people cried over that scene. That was such an amazing scene. People had ever watched it in the movie theaters back when it came out in 2019. But yeah, pretty good. And now we have Abominable. Now, this is a movie I actually saw, and it was fantastic. So let me put this one in the good category because it looks pretty good. Now, this is a movie that managed to have awesome, but heck, this is what people might ever think about. Then we have Trolls World Tour. I'm going to put this one in okay because a lot of people dislike this movie mostly because it was terrible. Now, I remember that this movie came out last year in April of 2020. This was the movie that was going to come out like in theaters in April of 2020. But when the pandemic started back in March 16th of 2020, everything had to shut down. The movie theaters were closed, and so they decided to have it on a streaming service like on demand because the movie theaters were closed due to the COVID-19. Because I remember this movie came out after Onward. Onward came out in March 6, 2020, which is the movie I did saw in theaters before the pandemic. But yeah, nonetheless, it looks good. So now we have The Croods on New Age. Now this is a movie that I actually saw in 2020 on demand. But then I saw it at the beginning of 2021 on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yes, it looks pretty amazing that the Croods were like the best franchise, but it's still like amazingly. Now, let me explain you guys. Unfortunately, Spirit Untamed is not on this list as it already came out. Back in June. Now, they didn't add Spirit Untamed on this list. Now, sorry for that. But it's okay. I know Spirit Untamed was not included, but it's okay. Don't get me wrong. But last but not least, we have The Boss Baby 2, Family Business. This one wasn't okay. I saw this movie like in the summer, in July 2nd, and do I have to admit that this is a movie that was better than the first one? I don't think it's like good or bad. It's not how people might think about. There's a new baby in this one. Like, we remember like at the end when it looks like pretty different. But then we have to say that this is a movie that easily doesn't have to start with this one. But yeah, guys, it seems that The Boss Baby was like one of the best successful franchises, but really bad. Now, this is a movie that's gonna be coming out in March of 2021, but they pushed the release it to September of 2021. But then they decided to release it in July 2nd. Oh my god. How odd. But yeah, that is my tier list of Dreamworks. What do you think of this tier list? Do you like it or not? Let me know in the comments if you like it or not. But yeah, now I have like one more studio to do, and that is Walt Disney Animation Studios. And then I'll be back for more reviews that of cars that I got like Jim Reverick. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys tomorrow for the tier list of Walt Disney Animation Studios. Peace!